What's going on, guys? You well here, and welcome to Confabulate, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. I'm your host, Nicole Sanchez. Thank you so much for stopping by. And today, guys, we have a good friend of mine. This is Nicole Anastacio. Thank you so much, Nicole, for coming on my podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. I'm super stoked for this. I've been looking forward to this like all week.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah,
Have you been excited?
I'm so excited. I love talking, so this is very fun for me.
Well, thank you for coming on. I'm very excited. You're so caring and sweet, and I've always admired that about you. I even told you, you tweeted something. You're like, I have no talent. And I'm like, girl, you're so sweet and caring effortlessly, too. So where does that come from, you being so sweet and caring?
Okay, first of all, I really appreciate it. When you tweeted that, I was like, oh, thanks. But I don't know. I think a big part of it growing up, I was looked at as the oldest of my family. I have an older sister, but she's special ed. And so since she's special ed, I had to be like the oldest sibling. And because I have 4 younger siblings, I had to be really patient with them and like, just kind and caring. My parents were always like, oh, because you're the oldest, like you have to be nice. You have to do all these things. So because of that, it kind of just became natural to me. And I don't know, I have a really long patience span because of my siblings. So when it comes to other people, like I don't get mad. Like it takes a lot for me to get angry. And I honestly, truly, I don't think I've ever really been angry in front of people. I think I've only ever really been angry twice in my lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, like I don't get mad.
We're twins. I'm the same way.
Yeah, it takes a lot. Like if I get angry, it's like, oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I always say it takes so much energy to be angry, to be mean. I'm like, I'd just rather be cool and chill and nice. How were you able to keep up like the kindness with school?
Like quite honestly, like I know that some people like when they like see other people, they're like, oh, acquaintances. But in my head, for some reason, I was always like, oh, friends. Like everyone's a friend to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but that's just how it was. And then later on, I learned they were like, oh, like not everyone's a friend. And I was like, oh, like what do you mean? They're like, oh, like they're acquaintances. I have a class with them, and I'm like, so whenever. Before, when I used to talk to people about like another person in my class, I'm like, oh yeah, my friend, even though I guess we weren't really friends, they were just in my class. I kind of just referred to everybody as friends, which I don't know. Wow. But now I know like there's like a little like, difference. I'm like, okay, like acquaintances are this person in my class. But I don't know, there was like never really a solid line for me in high school of like, oh, who were like, like I don't know how to explain it. But yeah.
We are twins. The way you're speaking right now, that's exactly how I am. I thought everyone was my friend. I don't know if you remember high school. I was friends with everyone.
Yeah.
And even everyone that I've had on podcasts, like they were acquaintances, and I consider them my friends now, even though it's crazy to think about. I thought I was friends with everyone as well.
Same.
Especially you're in ASB too, so you're like, there's a big group of people always together. So was ASB like fun for you also?
Yes, it was. I loved ASB. I think it gave me a chance to really be out there and get to know people more. Like I already said earlier, I love talking, and I love talking to new people and just people in general. I love conversing, and so being in ASB, it gave me that like opportunity when I had to like do events or if I had to go make a presentation. It was always really fun. Yeah. Yeah,
and you were also, what did you win in the yearbook? Proudest Condor, right?
I think so. Yeah, I got it with like Eric. Yeah.
Yes, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Proudest Condor. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. I was like when they like let out the results and I saw that, I was like, oh, I was kind of surprised because I thought I was gonna get like the one where it's like, oh, you'll come back as a teacher, because like at the time I really wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So I thought I was gonna get that, but then I was super surprised because there are some other people who are really like outgoing, and so I was kind of like, oh, okay, like, all right, Yeah.
Nicole, I won 3 of those.
Yeah, I know, that's gnarly.
I was like, because I was in yearbook and they told me like, oh, you have 3, choose which one you want. I'm like, 3? How does best laugh, famous on social media, which I guess that would make sense, and save the earth, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's cool. I can see all 3 of them though, so it makes sense.
Oh my God. But you eventually came back to North County. So tell everyone what you're doing now.
And so right now I'm an instructional assistant for the music department. And it's kind of funny because I didn't plan on coming back until I got like a teaching degree. But then the summer before coming back to school, from everything being online, Dr. Wood, or the principal, she was like, hey, like we have this position open and we were trying to think of people who'd be good for it, and we thought of you. And so at first I was kind of like, ooh, like I don't know if I want to, just because I don't really have experience in that field yet, as much as I would like. But then they're like, oh, like, don't worry about it. Like, you'll be fine. And so I was like, okay, like, I'll do it. And it was, at the time too, like, I was like, well, I do need a job where it's kind of more stable. Because I worked at another job and like my schedule was like, oh, whenever they needed me kind of a thing. Like, oh, like this is the schedule for the week. And it was never consistent. Like I would be opening one day, then closing the next, or closing the next, like one day and then opening the morning of. And I was like, that's a lot. And so I was like, I wanted like something more stable, like more consistent. So that I can go back to school and do school while working also. Because like working and going to school is hard. Like working a full-time job and being a full-time student, like, oh my God.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, like
My
everybody
God.
who does. And the sad thing is too, it's like I know that the majority of like kids who go to school, like that we know of, like do that. And I'm like, it sucks. But
Yeah, and it's sad that it's kind of like expected of us.
yeah, and it's like a normal thing. And I'm like, this shouldn't be normal. And in my opinion, at least, like, you know. Oh.
Yeah, I think being school full-time is enough.
Yes,
Like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, I always tell my family, I'm like, I have 4 jobs basically.
Yeah.
A real job, I got school, I got this, and like, it's a lot of work. I don't know how they do it. But what exactly do you do like with your job as with the music department? I'm just curious.
No, yeah, for sure. So I help with like the little stuff, mostly like with marching. I help with the marching. I hold sectionals with some kids. So if like a certain section wants to hold a sectional, I'm like their supervisor in a sense, like after school. Since like after school, if you do after school activities, you have to have like a supervisor with you. And I'm like that supervisor because Miss Chapa has kids now, and so does the substitute band director. She has kids also. So whenever there's anything like after school, I'm the person who stays after school to do that. During 0 period band, I help with instruction. So I help with like teaching them like marching skills or drills, or I teach them some of the music that they need help with. I like print music out for them. Yeah, kind of just like an aide, like a TA.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about going back to North County to coach track.
Oh my gosh, you totally should.
This track season. I texted AJ and I'm like, AJ, I really want to do it this time. I want to help you coach jump, so let me know if you need help. But he said he doesn't know if he's going to come back, so he'll let me know. But I'm really interested. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while now, to just like come back and like kind of like a full circle moment to teach these kids that I was there. Yeah. It'd be crazy. Would you be interested in coaching track as well or no?
So it's funny because my little sister, she's doing track, right? And she got to know the head coach of track now. The new head coach of track.
Head coach. It's not Ibarra?
No, it's not Ibarra no more. It's a teacher named Mr. Cornejo. Okay. And she had him as a coach for cross country. And so she's doing track also. And she was just telling me, oh, like we need a throwing coach. And so she asked me. And
there you go.
Like, okay, but the thing with that, I was like, hey, like I was in throws, but I wasn't the best. Like I was good at shot put. Like whenever we had Saturday meets or like qualifiers, I always qualified for shot put because I was good at that. But like discus, I was like, that's a different story. And it's like one of those things where I enjoyed it. I really truly did, but I don't know enough of it to coach someone. Like I don't know technique. I don't know like workouts. I can't even remember what workouts we did, you know? So it's like one of those things where I would love to, but I don't feel like I'm qualified.
Right.
Yeah, but I heard that like another person's coaching throws now. So I told her like if it was like, oh, they have no one for sure, then I'll do it. But I heard that they found someone for it. So I'm like, okay, we're good then.
Yeah. And your siblings did track and field, right? I remember your brother was doing it too.
Yeah, Nayla did it. So my younger sister Nayla, and then Jojo did it as well. I don't know if he's gonna do it this year or not, but he's thinking about it because he works also, so he doesn't know. But Nadia, and then Nadia is the youngest sibling, so she's gonna be doing it too.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Did you do any other sports besides track?
No, just track. I don't know. I'm not a very athletic person, so that's why I was like, sports, not really my thing. I despise running. Till this day, I despise running, but I do enjoy weightlifting. So I do appreciate track for that because if I wasn't in track, then I wouldn't really know anything about weightlifting. But because I joined track as a thrower, we did a lot of weightlifting for our exercises and stuff for practice. So I really appreciate that because now weightlifting is a big part of my life. So yeah.
Wait, I hated lifting weights.
I love weightlifting. Once we did running, I was like, I'm out.
Oh my God. I always said, like, one day if I ever have enough money, if whatever, I want to give North County tennis courts because I feel like we're the only high school without tennis courts. And, like, as a kid going there, I literally almost didn't go to North County just because they didn't have tennis courts. I really wanted to play. I always wanted to be in a high school team for tennis. So I'm like, one day I want to give North County tennis courts and, like, just give that opportunity to kids who who need it or
It's
who
kind
want
of
it.
funny that you say that, because every time I see a tennis court, because I for a while worked in Monterey, and so I'd drive around Monterey a lot. Every time I would see a tennis court, I'd always be like, yeah, my friend Yoel plays tennis.
Oh my God,
It would
no
just
way.
be like a random thought, like, yeah, I know someone who plays tennis. But every time I see a tennis court, I'm like, oh, Yoel plays tennis.
That was so funny because everyone in our county knew me for tennis
Yes,
because
that's literally-
no one there plays tennis.
And then my sister, I went to go visit her recently, and she was watching, like, I guess it's like this new documentary about, like, Serena Williams, Venus, I don't know their names.
One of those.
Well, one of them, they had, like, a new documentary about their father and, like coaching them as kids, and I was like, oh, Yoel plays tennis, and they was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, so anything tennis. I'm like, oh, Yoel.
Isn't it a movie?
It is a movie. It's like on Netflix, I think.
Will Smith is the dad.
Yes.
That movie.
Yes, that one.
I need to watch that.
I was kind of watching. It was kind of in and out. She was watching it while I was like cooking or something. I don't remember. But I was like, oh, tennis. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, let's move on to anime.
Mm-hmm.
I was very excited when I found out that you love anime because I feel like anime wasn't a big thing when I was growing up or even a few years ago. Now it's a really big thing.
Yeah. Okay. So now it's huge. Like, I was honestly, so I never had TikTok. Like, I'm not really big on social media. But I do, like, so I never had TikTok, right? But then Bree, one of my best friends, she made a art account on TikTok, and so to support her, I was like, yeah, I'll make a TikTok and I'll follow you. And then I got pulled into this like, and then I found out there was anime TikTok, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, no way. And then I realized how big it became, and I was kind of shook, because once I started going to stores and stuff, like, I started seeing anime in, like, the mall and in, like, Target and Wall. It's the weirdest thing to me, because growing up as a kid, I've always watched anime. It might be because I'm Asian, I don't know. But like growing up, it was normal. Like, anime was what I watched. I didn't watch like Disney Channel. I didn't watch Nickelodeon. And when I tell people that, they'd be kind of like confused. Like, you didn't watch like Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, or Cartoon Network? I was like, no. And they're like, what did you watch? I'm like, oh, anime. And they'd be like, what is that? I'm like, never mind, you know? And it was one of those things where before, it was something that people like thought was weird, right? And so because of that, I never told anyone. Like, I would never be like, oh yeah, I watch anime, because like otherwise it was associated with like a negative like outlook on it. So as a kid, I never really told people. My really close friends knew that I watched anime, but that was about it. But I was shook. I was really shook when it was like becoming really big, and like when people would tell me like, oh yeah, have you heard about that new anime, the like Attack on Titan? And I'm like, I watched that when I was a freshman in high school. I was like new, you know. But I think it's really cool that's coming back, because anime is truly like it's honestly such a good like I think it's better than cartoons, and I truly believe that it's better than like Disney, like Studio Ghibli films. I truly believe it's better than Disney. I don't know. I think it's such a beautiful thing. I can go on and on about this. Like, I love anime so much.
Yeah. And how did you start making TikToks about anime? Because you do have like a lot of people that watch your TikToks, and they're really great.
So like I started making TikToks because my sister, because she's like all, you know, she's like a younger generation. She's all about like TikTok and all that stuff. She showed me how to make a video because she wanted to make a video for something. And I was like, sure, like, let's do it. And we did it together. And then I was like, oh, look, I can make videos. Like, I can like open my packages, because I buy a lot of anime related stuff. And I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool, like, just to open and show people what I got. And it wasn't for like, oh, I want to be big on TikTok, because again, I'm not a really big social media person, but it was more for my enjoyment, because I got really happy when I would finish a video, and then I would watch it, like, oh, this is so cool, you know? And then it was really like random. Like, one day, I like opened like my like the TikTok app, and like one of my videos had like a cool amount of views, and I was like, oh, like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And I just did it like continuously, like everything that I would get in the mail. I haven't posted anything in a while, because again, it's not really something where I'm like, ooh, I want to be TikTok famous, or I want to like go far in this career. It was more just for fun, and more just for like something that I liked and enjoyed to do. But yeah.
The only anime I ever watched growing up was Pokemon, Naruto, and actually I think those are the only two.
Those ones are good though. I love Pokemon. And Naruto. I love Naruto.
But I didn't even know those were anime. I just loved watching it, and I had them on the Wii. I used to play games.
I know sometimes some people don't even realize that what they watch is anime. I know like a big like a lot of animes that go into that category is like Pokemon, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Inuyasha. If you're, because Inuyasha is more of an older one too, so some kids would be like, oh yeah, like I didn't know it was anime. But yeah.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite shows? Because I asked Andy this and I asked Eric Vicesio because they love anime too, and they gave me some shows to watch. What are some of your favorites?
So that's funny too, because Andy was one of the few friends who knew that I liked anime. So whenever we did talk about anime, Andy like knew what I was talking about. But my favorite all time like anime is Inuyasha, just because that's an anime that like I grew up watching. It was one of my favorites that I grew up watching. So that's like one of my favorites. And like one of my tattoos that I have is from a character from that show. What else? So I love that one. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, another really good one, very well written. Whenever people ask me for like anime recommendations, that's one that I give all the time, just because it's like it's not a hard one to get into, but it's not as heavy. Full Metal Alchemist, AOT, so Attack on Titan, that is one of my favorites as well. But when it comes to recommendations, I don't recommend that one to people just because it's such a good anime and it's so well written and just everything about it is like a work of art. And I feel like when I recommend that to people and they watch it as their first anime, their expectations are so high for other animes. And I'm just like, no, because other anime is really good too. But if you compare it to Attack on Titan, yeah, it's not the best, you know, but it's like all animes are really good. So whenever I do recommend anime, I don't tell them Attack on Titan. Like if they'll watch like one or two of them, okay, now you have to watch Attack on Titan because Attack on Titan is really good. So like new generation anime, I really like Demon Slayer. That is like one of my favorite new generation anime. What else? I also like a lot of it's called shoujo like anime. It's like a type, like a genre, and it's more like romance, and it's like centered around like a girl's like love life in a sense. I really like those type of animes, like romance animes. But those ones aren't that big. It's mostly like shonen, which covers like a main character that's a boy, like a young boy, and it appeals to younger male audiences, even though a lot of older people watch it too. But yeah, so I like romance ones. But I like honestly like all anime. I have watched so many in my lifetime. I've watched more than 300 animes in my lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I love watching your face light up when you talk about it.
It's
nice to see someone.
I'm such a geek when it comes to these kind of things, and the fact that it's like socially okay now makes me so excited, because before it wasn't. So I was never not allowed to. I just never felt that I could talk about it.
Right.
And if I did, like I'd be made fun of, you know. But yeah, and like when I used to read manga in elementary school, I used to be made fun of also. So I stopped reading manga in elementary school, and the only people who knew that I had manga was like really close friends of mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your tattoos. I see some anime characters on there too. Sure.
So all of my tattoos all have to relate with anime, which is kind of funny.
It's great. I love it. Yeah.
So I have a total of 8 right now. I have one from Inuyasha, which is like the one on my shoulder right here. It's one of the characters named Sango. Yeah. She's my all-time favorite like female character. Such like a strong like female like she's just such a strong character. And growing up as a kid,
a bad bitch.
Yeah, like literally like growing up as a kid, that was so empowering to me, because she's a girl, you know, like super young, but she's a bad, and she knows it. Like she knows that she's a bad bitch, and she's amazing. And then this girl right here is my second all-time favorite anime character. Her name is Mitsuri. She's from Demon Slayer. It's from one of the newer animes, and she's just really pretty, and I think her personality is what got me. Like she's definitely like someone that I like would want to be, and I see myself in her, if that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah. And I also have one from Hunter x Hunter, Killua and Gon. They're just like, their relationship is just so sweet, and like their friendship, and it's from my favorite episode. So there's that one. Nice. I also have like an Avatar tattoo, because I absolutely love Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yes, I got the
I love that.
The symbols, and it's one of my favorite ones because it's like low-key enough to where like if you know Avatar, you know it, but if you don't, it looks just like a cool like tattoo. Yeah. I also have this dragon one. And it's Haku from Spirited Away. Spirited Away was one of my childhood movies that I absolutely enjoyed as a kid, so I had to get it. Then I have one of my favorite manga panels of Demon Slayer on me, and it's Zenitsu, Tanjiro, and Inosuke dressed as girls. And this arc is actually being animated. So the second season just released yesterday, and that's what arc it's from. Yeah. Then I have this spider tattoo, and it has a number 2 on the inside. And it's also from Hunter x Hunter. It's a symbol for one of my favorite villains. So that is, yeah. People think it's just a normal spider, and they're like, oh, then what's the 2? I'm like, oh, you see, it's anime related. Yeah. And then the one on top of my shoulder, it's Princess Mononoke. another Studio Ghibli film that I really adored. 'Cause again, she's like a bad bitch, like amazing, truly amazing.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I have is Ponyo, and it's Ponyo and Sosuke. And Ponyo is one of my favorite ones, also because their relationship is so pure. It's like not romantic, it's not friendship, it's just pure love. Like it's like they just genuinely care about each other, and I really like that idea. Like they didn't have to be like lovers, you know, to be together in a sense. But yeah, so that's all the tattoos that I have so far.
Which one hurt the most?
That's a lot of people ask me that. They didn't hurt. Yeah, the most uncomfortable one was probably my spider one, just because it's on my inner arm.
Yeah.
And it was more fleshy, but even then it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said about mine. I mean, I'm wearing like 2 layers right now, but there's my musical note, treble clef.
Yeah.
And then this one's a shocker, right?
Oh, I love that one.
A whale right here. And then I can't show you this one, but right here in cursive, I have treat people with kindness.
Oh, I love that.
Harry Styles. And I have 3. This one I didn't even feel at all.
Yeah, that one I didn't feel either. When I got these 2 done,
Yeah.
I didn't feel it at all.
Yeah. But these 2, I guess, because they're my first ones, they were a little more uncomfortable, but I don't think it hurt, which is scary because I'm done with it. I'm like, so another one.
That's literally me, as you can tell by my arms right now. It's so bad. Like, and there was a part when my tattoo artist was like, oh yeah, we're going near a part that tends to hurt for people. And then I start laughing because it tickled. I was like, this doesn't hurt, this tickles. And she's like, yeah, you are weird. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Do you want to get any more?
I am getting more. I plan on filling both of my arms up. I want like 2 sleeves. And then this month I'm getting my chest done. So I'm getting 2 the dragons from Avatar: Last Airbender, Ron and Shaw. I'm getting them on my chest. They're gonna be facing each other. And then eventually in the middle where they face each other, I want to get an Oni mask, but a Hanyo man. So for an Oni, it's like a male demon, but a Hanya is a female demon. So I want to get those on me. Yeah.
Wow. I love Avatar. I watched every single season. I had the game. I always wanted to be a waterbender. People always ask me, like, what's your favorite superpower? What do you want to be? I'm like, a waterbender.
Yes. Okay, so all the time when people would ask, like, you know how that question was, like, pretty normal, like, growing up? It was like, oh, like, what superpower would you want?
Yeah.
My answer was always, I wanted to be, like, an Avatar. Like, I wanted to control the elements. And if I couldn't pick, like, all the elements, I'm, like, for sure an earthbender. Like, that is, like,
That's
that
so
is
cool.
my group.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of underrated, too, the earthbenders.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're super cool. They're my favorite out of all 4.
Yeah. I was always out of the box when people ask me that. Even people ask me who's my favorite superhero, I would always say the Fantastic Four. No one ever says
yeah,
that.
I don't hear that one a lot.
What's your favorite superhero?
See, that one I never had an answer for because I don't really have a favorite superhero.
Really? Not Marvel or DC?
No, because I don't watch Marvel or DC.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, that was another thing too. Like, growing up, I never really watched like superhero movies.
Wow.
So I don't really have a favorite superhero. Although Thor is really handsome. I don't know who plays him, but he's beautiful.
Chris
so maybe
Hemsworth.
him. I don't know who that is, but him. if he plays Thor, then yes, him.
Oh my god. You don't know Chris Hemsworth? He has a brother, Liam Hemsworth. He dated
Liam. He played in The Hunger Games.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. That's as far as my knowledge
You
goes.
like The Hunger Games too,
I
right?
do. I love
know.
The Hunger Games.
How did I know that?
I love The Hunger Games.
Favorite movie of The Hunger Games?
Oh, that one's hard. Oh no. Oh. Maybe Catching Fire. That one is really good. I think it was really well like directed and put together based off like the book. So probably Catching Fire. Although I loved all of them. I loved all of them. Yeah.
Is Catching Fire the third or the second?
That is the second.
Second. Okay.
Yes, because third is Mockingjay. Yeah, it's
Mockingjay.
been a cool minute since I
gotta
like
start watching it
revisited
again.
Hunger Games, but yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like the first one. Like, I remember watching for the first time the first one.
So good.
Oh my god. And then they kept getting better and better, and I'm like, oh my god.
I know. I think Catching Fire just because I loved like the outfits. Beautiful, gorgeous designs. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Let's see what do I have next. School. We talk about school. Oh yeah, school. You were at MPC.
Ooh, school.
Did you ever finish MPC, or how were you with education?
So it's
like
kind of
school?
funny. Yeah, because it's kind of funny because people like who knew me from high school kind of expected me like, oh, like she's gonna go to a 4-year, or like, oh, she'll finish school. I'm
Yeah.
not really big on school. And when I tell that to people, they kind of get shocked. Like, yeah, I did good in high school, but that's just because, like, you know, like, we were in high school, we had to be there, and, like, I don't know. But college, I don't know, it's kind of different. Like, I didn't like it. Like, I was like, I don't really like this, like having to do things like you don't really have anything holding you to make sure, like, oh, you have to turn this in, kind of a thing.
Right.
Like, it's more of like, oh, it's like your own thing, your own self-motivation. But in high school, it's like, oh, you had to because you had to graduate, you know? But I don't know, like, school just isn't really my thing. So I did it for like 2 years. I got good grades. Like, I did my A's and everything, but I just wasn't enjoying it. Like, I wasn't failing or anything. I just didn't enjoy it. And so I took this semester off because once everything switched to online, I just can't learn online. I have ADHD and it's so hard for me to focus. And the fact that I don't have like internet at home, it was also hard to do online assignments. So I just didn't take classes this semester. I did sign up for classes next spring, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, but I'm not really in a rush to get like my degree. As bad as that sounds, I'm really content with like where I am right now. But that doesn't mean I don't want to keep going. Like, I'm finding every way to like keep moving forward and like, you know, bettering myself and stuff in terms of my future. But no, I truly don't think school is something that I absolutely need to survive. Although I am a big supporter of education. Like, I'm all about education, and if school's for you, then by all means. But for me personally, knowing how I am, I'm just like, school's not really it for me right now. And that's okay, you know?
Yeah, and that's great. And I feel like a lot of people should know that too, to not be in a rush to get their degree, because school will always be there.
Yeah.
And to find like exactly what you want to do and what's going to make you happy. For me, I struggled for a long time figuring out what it is that I wanted. And like I'm still at school, but I'm still like in a lost place. Like, I'm majoring in psychology, minoring in music.
Oh, nice.
That's what I want to do. But like, you know, there's still like the music side that I really want to do. Music, it's gonna make me happy. But I also work for my dad for his business in the office, so that'll always be there. So I have a lot of options, but sometimes I rush myself at times, and I'm just like, you're only 21, like, you're still so young, you have your whole life to figure everything out.
And like when you say that, it's honestly so true, just because like I feel like nowadays, like, there's like this expectation that like by a certain age you have to have like all these things, and I'm just like, but like, that's not really what life is. I truly think that like life, like when people ask me like, oh, what are your goals, and like, what do you want to do, and like, what is success for you, and I'm like, honestly, like, success for me is like living a life that I will not regret, like, you know. And it's not like ooh, wanting to be like making six figures. Like, yeah, that'd be nice, but if I was making six figures, was I happy in that process, you know? And I think a big thing for me is enjoying where I'm at, you know? And if it's like not going to school, like, I don't want, cause it wasn't making me happy, like, I'm not gonna do it, you know? Like, why put myself through all these, like, the stress? Like, it's gonna be okay. And I think sometimes with us and like our generation, just like kids in general, like, they don't get told enough, like, hey, it's gonna be fine, you know? It's always more of like, oh, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, think about all these things, but I'm like, why can't I think about now? Like, why can't I think about like how I am right now, you know, kind of a thing. I don't know. But yeah.
Oof, Nicole. I feel like we're in therapy. You literally got me on the couch.
I know, that's kind of my thought process on a lot of things. And like, I think people get kind of surprised when I talk like that, because they always expect me to be like on top of things and looking towards my future. But I'm like the complete opposite. I don't even know what I'm going to do next week. Like, I truly don't really plan things. But people who do, like, you know, props to them. Like, my sister, she's all about planning her future. She has like her whole future planned out, which is great. But for me, it's not really like that, you know?
Yeah, everyone's different. Yeah, and we can't compare ourselves to other people.
Exactly.
Because we're all different.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people have a hard time with that. Like, they're always like struggling. It's like, oh, but this person. Oh, but this person. It's like, oh, but what about you? You know? Like, think about you.
Yeah, someone mentioned, like, why haven't I moved out? And I told them, like, I'm 21. I can assure you, almost everyone I graduated with is still living with their parents, either school or working. And
there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I truly think, like, yeah, like when you're by yourself and you move out and stuff, it shows some level of like adulting and stuff. But I honestly truly don't think there's anything wrong with like living with your parents. Since I grew up in like a very like Asian household, it's very common for us to stay in our own household and take care of your parents. Like, it's very common to live with your parents. So that's why it was never such a weird thing for me. For when people are like, oh, like, you haven't moved out. I'm like, no. Like, first of all, my paycheck wouldn't even cover half of what rent costs. Like, no. Like, yes, I'm not moving out. I'm not financially stable for that.
Exactly. I tell people that I don't have the money to move out, and I'm a student and I work.
Exactly.
I'll be able to move out if I have a full-time job and I work and save for like a year.
Exactly.
Then I can think about it, but not now.
It's not as easy as people like make it out to seem, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I have music. Let me talk about this first. I want to ask you about that you're pansexual and demisexual. I wanted to ask you, like, how would you explain that to people that don't really know? Because, like, when I came out, like, I'm gay, and I was explaining it to people and my family and stuff, there was a lot of different, how do I say this, opinions, I guess, or different perspectives about it. And being gay has been something that people have known for a long time, but pansexual and demisexual, I feel like it's not really seen, not only in social media, but like just in society in general. So how would you explain that to people that don't know?
Yeah. So for that one, like, one thing I will say before I explain it, like, pansexual, demisexual, like, all these like titles, they're just titles. Like, that's all it is. Like, you honestly can truly be whatever you want, and if you don't want to like classify yourself underneath it, you don't have to. You just got to be you, you know? But I do use pansexual and demisexual to describe myself, just because it's a little bit more easier in a sense. For people who do know what it means, but like you said, like, not a lot of people know what like it is, because it's not as common. But the way I explain pansexual, the way I see it, and like I classify myself, it's like, I truly don't care what gender you are. You can be a like male, female, like non-binary, asexual, like you can be transgender. I really truly don't care. Like, what matters for me is like your personality. Like, that's all I truly like looking for, like in a person. And like your gender, what you classify yourself, is just another characteristic about yourself. Like, that's how I see it and how I see people. And for the longest time, I've always thought that way, but I never really thought about it until like my senior year of college, or not senior year of college, senior year of high school, and then like freshman year of college. That's when I really thought, like, oh, like, I'm probably this. And when I told my friends, I told Molly and Desi, right, I was like, oh yeah, like, I'm pan, and they're just like, oh, like, we know. And I'm like, oh, like, what do you mean? And they're just like, oh, like, in high school, whenever we talk about boys, your answer was always, oh, but their personality. Oh, but their personality. And I'm like, well, yeah. And I like truly don't care. And then like also growing up, like it was never just boys that I would look at. I'm like, oh, this girl like has an amazing personality. And I kind of have a crush on her, you know? And so it wasn't like the gender truly doesn't matter to me. Or what you classify yourself. As long as you're a decent human being, like, that's all I care about. Yeah, I'm more attracted to personality. That's what I'm attracted to.
Yeah, I think that's actually a beautiful thing too.
Thanks.
And for you to have the love and support from your friends too and your family.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a really cool thing. Thank you for talking about it on the podcast. I appreciate it. And let's talk about music too. I always ask my guests about their favorite artists. Who are your favorite singers and bands and artists?
It's hard for me because
I know
I don't really like pay attention to like artists and stuff. If I like the song, then I like the song. But I don't really have like a favorite artist that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure I have one, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Mine? I'm pretty sure you know mine.
Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I make it well known who my favorite singers are. But do you have like a favorite genre maybe? Do you do Spotify or Apple Music?
I do Spotify.
Oh, what was on your Spotify Wrapped? Have you checked it out?
Yes, I have. It was kind of funny. It was like for genre, it was like my top one was J-pop, Japanese pop music. And then there was like emo in there, and there was like meme rap, whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't know what that is. And then there was also indie pop. I think that was another one. But yeah. I don't know. I have a really wide variety of music. It really depends on the day too. Like, oh, I feel like listening to this, and I'm listening to that. But I can't really think of like an actual like artist that I really like. Right now I really like this guy named Luya. I don't know if you heard of him. Really like him. Really good music. I also listen to this one artist. He's Japanese. His name is Takayan. I really like his music too. Nice. But yeah. But like favorite artists, I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah. I like that you listen to many different types of music because I'm the same way. Literally, the top artists that were on mine were Kelly Clarkson, but I also had like Foo Fighters. I had like Luke Bryan.
Nice.
I had like musical theater in there, country, pop, rock. Because I love music. I think music is music, and if you could move me with the lyrics or your voice or storytelling, I could care less what the genre is.
Yeah, for me, it's like when people like ask me when they ask me like, oh, what music do you listen to? I'm like, oh, quite like literally anything, and they're like, anything, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like even country. I'm like, yeah, like even country. Like I like everything. Like if I like how it sounds, then I'll listen to it. And a big thing for me as a kid, I never really paid attention to lyrics, and now sometimes I really don't pay attention to lyrics. But if I like how catchy it sounds, then yeah, I'll listen to it.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a concert?
I have been to a concert. I've been to Quinn 92.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, went to his concert. Christian French. Who else have I seen in concert? Surfaces. Surfaces is a good one. They got popular like 2 years ago, a year ago. Yeah, went to see them. Those are the only 3 concerts I've been to.
That's really cool. Is there like a concert that you like to go to in the future to see someone?
In the future, I really want to see the band Camino. They actually went on tour, but I missed when their tickets went on sale, so they sold out. Oh, wow. But the band Camino, I want to see them in concert. I want to see Doja Cat in concert because she's a bad bitch. God. I absolutely adore her. Yeah.
She was literally at San Jose Saturday.
I wanted to go so bad. My brother and I really wanted to go, but we couldn't.
She's so good. When Planet Her came out, because usually I listen to the album from start to finish, and then I'll download the songs that I love. I downloaded like 10 songs. That's almost the whole entire album. I'm like, she really killed it. She's
really good. And then the thing is, I didn't start listening to her until my brother listened to her, because my brother, he has really good taste in music, and so he'll always play it. I'm like, oh, like who's this? And he's like, oh, it's this person. But yeah, no, she's really good. So I want to see her because she seems like a really good performer, and I like a good performance. So
yeah, she's really great.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some cool questions. Let's see. Did we talk about this favorite movie? No, we didn't. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? That one's so hard.
I know.
My favorite movies, I have 2. Howl's Moving Castle. It's a Studio Ghibli film. No surprise there. And then Whisper of the Heart.
Wow.
Yeah, that one's a Studio Ghibli film too, and it's one of my favorites. It's a more of an underrated Studio Ghibli film. Not a lot of people know about it, but I loved it because like as a kid watching it, it told me like, hey, it's fine to not know what you want to do with your life. Like it's okay. And that's like the moral of the story, because it's about this girl doesn't know what she wants to do with her life, and then she realizes like, hey, it's okay. Like I'm taking it day by day. So I really liked that movie. So those 2 are my favorite. And then Mulan is very close. Like Mulan's one of my favorites.
Wow.
Yeah. So those 3.
You said moral of the story. You like Ash, right? That's you. Yes, I know.
Ash. I love Ash so much. That's another person that I've seen her in concert because she opened for Quinn. But I want to see her in her own concert. I absolutely adore her. She's amazing. Like she will be on stage performing, drinking a glass of wine, and I'm just like, I love you so much.
Yeah. I love her voice. Yes. Her duet with Niall, and then her duet with Phineas. I've heard, and wow, beautiful.
She's so good. I love her.
Yeah. Favorite food?
Oh my gosh, this one's hard. I love food. Oh man. I love ice cream, but people tell me that ice cream isn't a food. So when they tell me that, okay, I go to like if I change the question to like, oh, if I could have only one dish like on this earth before I die, it'd be sinigang. And it's this like Filipino dish, and it's like a stew almost, but it's like sour, and that's like my favorite comfort food. Other than that, I like Chinese and Mexican. I love Mediterranean.
Oh my god, yes.
I just love food. I love eating.
Anytime my friends ask me to hang out, I'm like, so like, what are we gonna eat?
Yes, so we're getting food, right? I love trying new places. I'm not a picky eater. I will quite literally try anything and everything.
I've seen that you make lumpia, and it looks so good. That's my favorite food.
Is it really?
I get lumpia from the Asian Market Marina, and I fry them, and I'm like, oh, I love it. It's just so crispy. Spring rolls, lumpia, egg rolls. All of that. And
it's funny because like a lot of people, like when they tell me like, oh, like when they find out I'm Filipino, and they're like, oh, that's so like you can make lumpia, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh, it's my favorite. And it's funny because like I grew up, I had it a lot, and so it's one of those foods that's like very common for me. So like if like usually we'll wrap a bunch and then just have them in the freezer, and so if like we come home and it's like late or something, we just need something quick, like we'll just fry lumpia. And so it was just like one of those things where we always had, but then for other people it's like, oh, only on special occasions do we have lumpia. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird.
No, lumpia every day.
Yeah, I love
with the
lumpia.
sauce. Ooh.
Yes.
Favorite animal?
Ooh, I like llamas. Llamas and alpacas. They're kind of mean in person, but they're cute.
You have some, don't you?
I do. I have that's why I say that they're kind of mean in person. I have alpacas. They spit, yeah, and they're kind of mean. They don't like people, but they're very cute. So, and I also love cats. Cats are like one of my favorites. Yeah.
Now that you mention animals, I remember you had this big pig.
Oh, we have many pigs.
Yeah, he was a huge pig. I'm like, he scared me.
Yes, we have a lot of pigs.
Oh my god. Okay, favorite color?
Green. Like ugly green. Like olive green.
Olive green.
Like, yes, like ugly green. I love green. Any type of green, but definitely more of like the uglier one. like olive or forest.
Oh wow, no one ever says that. I love that.
I love forest green and olive green. Yeah.
Mine's yellow.
Oh, I love yellow. It's such a fun color. It's a very happy color.
Yeah. Favorite fast food restaurant?
Oh man, I didn't really eat a lot of fast food.
Oh, that must be great for you because
Because growing up as a kid, my family, my parents were super, like, they knew how to hold on to their money. And so we never went out
there
to
was always
eat.
food at the house.
Yeah, my mom cooked every day. And it's funny because whenever we got good grades or anything like that, as a prize, we would go to, like, BK. And we would be so stoked, you know? Because, like, ooh, like, we got good grades, we get BK. But I don't know. Favorite fast food? I do like Taco Bell, I guess. But, like, I don't know. It's a hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Taco Bell, yeah.
Yeah.
Bomb. Favorite place to travel to?
Oh my gosh. Right now it's Seattle. I love going to Seattle.
Ooh.
I have, like, so she's like not my, like, she's not related to me, but growing up as a kid, she was like my older sister, and so she lives up there now, and I love going there. I love Seattle. I like the Pacific Northwest.
Wow.
But yeah.
I've never been in Washington.
You should definitely go. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. A lot of greenery, and in the fall, a lot of like seasonal colors, like in their trees. Very gorgeous.
I noticed like you love nature and like hiking, being outdoors, right?
I love being outside. Yeah, I love hiking. I love the beach. I love the mountains. Yes.
Do you have a preference? Either beach
that one's
or
so hard. People always ask me, oh, like beach or like mountains. I'm like, I can't choose. Like,
or the snow's pretty. Yeah.
The snow is so fun, and I love the snow also. Like, I just love being outside and in nature. As long as I'm outside and in nature, I'm content. Yeah. I'm so happy.
So I'm sure Earth Day is one of your favorite days.
It is.
You should have joined Slow Crew.
I know. I wasn't in Slow Crew, but I remember being in high school, and like whenever I see you guys or like hear something about you guys, I'm like, oh, I admire them. But I never crossed my mind to join it. But I did. I admire you guys from afar. I was like, I like this club. That was always my thought process. It was weird, and I was always like, I like this club a lot. And I never thought to like, oh, like, you like this club, you should join. I never crossed.
We would have loved to have you. I was historian. I was in charge of the Instagram and taking pictures. We had so many like beach cleanups and
yes, I know.
trips to Catalina Island and all that. We slept at the Monterey Aquarium. We had so many cool things. You would have loved it.
I probably That's one thing I do like regret.
Let's go back in time right now.
Join Slow Crew.
What is favorite article of clothing?
Article of clothing. I don't like wearing clothes, but probably like. I don't like wearing. I like running shorts. I don't know if you remember in high school, I was always in running shorts.
Right.
I love running shorts.
Oh, you're funny. Favorite article of clothing. I don't like wearing clothes.
I don't like wearing clothes. They're very restrictive. My least favorite, skinny jeans.
Oh my god, me too.
I hate skinny jeans just because like I have like bigger legs, like my calves are humongous. Yeah. And just like they're just very constricting.
I don't like jeans. Period.
Yeah, not a fan.
Okay, favorite subject in school. Well, we talked about you're not much for school, but favorite subject.
That's a good question. I enjoyed history. I'm a U.S. history major right now. I can't tell you anything about anything I remember. I don't remember anything, but I enjoy learning it like in the moment. Like I'm like, oh, this is very fascinating.
Yeah.
But then once that class is over, it's all gone. It does not stay in my head. But history, because I don't know, it's just interesting learning about like things that happened before.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Favorite childhood memory.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know how I came up with that. That's interesting.
Favorite childhood memory. I don't think I have a favorite childhood memory. But I do remember like as a kid, I loved like I don't know. That's hard.
I'm struggling to even have.
I'm like trying to think. I'm like I can't remember things like that I did past like yesterday. I like reading. I read a lot as a kid.
I know. That means we're getting old when we can't remember anything from the child.
So old, I know.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if you have an answer for this, but I put favorite album of all time. If there's a
favorite
album from an artist.
Yeah.
I have a few. 21 by Adele would be one of my favorites. Thriller by Michael Jackson. Back to Black, Amy Winehouse. Multiply, Ed Sheeran. Those are like my top 4 that got me like into singing and being in love with singing.
For someone who like was in band and was kind of musical,
That's
don't
right,
really,
you were in band.
I don't know much about music. as sad as that is, and like when it comes to like albums and stuff, I couldn't tell you. Nope. Yeah.
I forgot you were in band. I saw y'all every morning. I had to get there early for yearbook. Every morning, you guys marching around. I'm like, poor guys in the freezing cold weather. Screw that.
Like my students now, when I tell them like, oh yeah, we're outside today, they're always like, Miss Nicole, it's cold. I'm like, no, it's not cold. I'm in just a shirt. They're like, what are you? I'm like, you guys aren't cold. It's fine. We're good. Yeah, they're funny. I'm like, no, we're not cold.
Oh my god, I love it. Okay, we're getting close to the end. Thank you so much for coming on. Last question. I usually tell my guests if you have any questions for me before we finish up.
Any questions for you? Do you plan on like singing any more songs, like record, like anything like that, like you're gonna do, like a song, like oh I'm gonna record this and post it on YouTube?
Ooh.
Or have you like not thought about that yet? Like what's your next song that you're gonna sing?
Oh my god. Well, I have a list on my notes, but I told myself, I'm like, once season 2 was over, I'm like, I'm just gonna record some covers and post them. But I've talked about it a few times. I just I've lost all motivation for YouTube, like all of it. There's no motivation left.
I totally feel that. It's like
So,
in school. Okay.
if I post and upload, it's because I don't know, there was a song I really wanted to sing. I recorded it and I just dropped it and I didn't promote it. I didn't really care. But I'd love to sing. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. It's just being a YouTuber, it's not in the cards for me anymore.
It's just, I don't know, being like a person who like creates content is just a lot. Like editing and just finding time to set aside to do all that stuff. Like I don't think people quite realize how hard it is.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, like I wrote these songs down. I put Traitor, Olivia Rodrigo, My Immortal, Evanescence. That's interesting.
Oh, nice.
Fade Into You, Mazzy Star. Already Gone, Kelly Clarkson. Put I'm With You, Avril Lavigne. Thinking of You, Katy Perry. All Too Well, Taylor Swift. I'd Rather Go Blind, Etta James. That's ballsy of me. Daddy Lessons, Beyonce. July, Noah Cyrus.
Okay.
So I put a bunch of them down, but I never got to most of them. But I'd still want to do it. I'll drop here and there, but it's I don't know. Yeah. Do you have another question? Or that was a great question.
Really.
I don't really expect another one. That was great.
I think that's all for me right now.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I really appreciate it. I'll start uploading like in January, but you'll be like episode 2 or 3. And
sounds good.
Thank you so much for coming on, Nicole.
Thanks for asking me. It was very exciting.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Confabulate. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.